This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
Tonight, the FBI of St. Louis is investigating a hate crime at a bus stop after a man was hit in the face with a brick and left bloody and unconscious. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. That attack happened in February, and tonight, months later, the FBI says the incident was racially motivated. 5 on your side's Holden Kerwicki is live outside FBI headquarters after speaking with the special agent in charge of this investigation. Holden.
Well, Mike, and according to investigators, the suspect in this case, a black man, made multiple racially charged comments to others at the bus stop before the attack, which qualified this as a hate crime. Now they're asking you to identify that man before an incident like this can occur again. The intersection of Del Mar and North Sarah is right on the northern edge of the Central West End and the Van Deventer neighborhood. There are 4 bus stops at the intersection, and according to the FBI, there was a hate crime at one of them earlier this year on February 3rd.
The unknown suspect was heard to have said, I hate white people, I'm going to hurt this guy.
Joe Weston is the supervisory special agent investigating this case for the FBI. He says there was only one white person at the bus stop when he was viciously attacked by this man.
Proceeded to walk by other people who were standing there at the bus stop and attacked this individual, a white male, with a concrete brick.
As the victim was unconscious on the sidewalk, bystanders shot this video of the unidentified suspect that is now key to the FBI investigation.
We take these matters very seriously, and we put a lot of investigative resources into these cases.
That's because under federal law, hate crimes are considered civil rights issues, which is why Special Agent Weston says the FBI needs your help finding the suspect.
Very unsettling cases because they're message crimes. These are crimes that not only impact the victim, obviously, but what happens is it impacts a greater community as well, because they're trying to send a message through that hate.
If you recognize the man in that video that is wanted by the FBI, you are being asked to give them a call. That number is 314-589-2500. There is a $10,000 reward for any information that leads the FBI to an arrest. Reporting live in downtown West, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
Tonight, police are looking for 4 men after a deadly shooting in Midtown St. Louis. 4 teenagers were shot and a 19-year-old was killed Saturday night. Our Justina Cornell joins us live from the scene on Olive Street with what she's learned from neighbors and the city. Justina.
And yeah, we learned that shooting happened in the parking lot behind me here. And earlier today, we spoke to a man who said he heard several gunshots go off and then saw multiple people running in different directions and even saw fights in the alley.
It never gets easier to hear our city be affected by a lot of things that, I think we could help prevent.
The Crime Victim Center empowers victims of violence, and one crime happened just a few minutes away from the organization's office in Midtown St. Louis.
Our place really comes after this happens. It's the ripple effect, it's the families, it's the neighborhood, it's the friends, it's the businesses that are on that street.
19-year-old Eddie Randall Jr. was shot and killed Saturday night in the 3000 block of Olive Street shortly before midnight. 3 other teens were also shot. We've learned about 200 young people were in this parking lot off of Olive Street, where neighbors tell me a group often gathers to have late-night weekend parties. When we arrived Monday morning, there were broken liquor bottles and even a spent shell casing. I asked the St. Louis City's Office of Violence Prevention what they're doing to curb this kind of crime. Wilford Pinckney says they're working to help a specific age group.
15 to 17-year-old age range is an important one to focus on, and I think not just because many of them are involved in violence, but also it's not as much to do for them. Many of our youth-serving organizations don't really focus on that age group.
The office plans to launch a youth assessment center this summer and distribute $3.6 million in ARPA funds to 13 organizations to create new youth programs.
We started doing more youth events around the city, so we're going to continue with those. We're also looking at extending the hours of the rec centers again. So it's a mixture of things we did last summer, but also some additional things we'll be doing this summer.
The Office of Violence Prevention is also hosting a kickback event on June 15 to connect resources to families. Now, police are still looking for more information about this shooting on Saturday night. If you have any information, you can contact Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Reporting live, Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
A live look at Busch Stadium, where the Cardinals are opening a 3-game series against the Baltimore Orioles. First pitch is in about 40 minutes, and hopefully those blue skies and sunshine stick around. Let's check in with meteorologist Scott Connell.
Yeah, we are expecting it to stay pretty quiet here as we go through the evening now. We had that one problem storm that was down to our south. It has fizzled out as it's pushed into Madison County. So now we focus on the next weather system that will have a big impact for us. And that's for tomorrow night and again into Wednesday. So we will have an alert for tomorrow night, especially after 8 p.m. That's our time frame tomorrow night. And it's really a little bit after that, with the potential for strong storms that could have gusty winds, maybe some hail, as well as the potential that we'll be looking at an isolated tornado chance. That's the line that we are projecting to arrive here as we go into the evening hours. About 8 o'clock, it's getting up towards the north and west of St. Louis. By 9:30, it's nudging in towards Hardin, towards Lincoln County, back through Troy into Wentzville. Then it slides through the metro area as we head through midnight. It will be weakening as it pushes through and slides on to the south of St. Louis. That's the good news, but it still has the potential to produce some severe weather, and that may not be our only chance of severe weather. There's another opportunity on Wednesday. More on that in a few minutes, Mike.
Scott, thanks. Early childhood education providers may have to wait another year before they see funding increases in Missouri.
At least 3 different proposals to expand child care funding failed in Jefferson City this year. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, explains why.
And Mike, while the Missouri House and Senate were fighting over whether or not to make it harder to change the state constitution, they were not taking up one of Governor Mike Parson's biggest agenda items. The final days of the Missouri General Assembly were filled with acrimony and infighting, and local early childhood education providers were watching to see if any new support might come their way. Instead, they were left in the lurch. The governor rattled off a list of reasons why public funding in child care can deliver a solid return on investment during his State of the State address to kick session off this year, but the budget the House and Senate sent back to his desk include no funding and no extra funding rather, and 2 other plans also fell by the wayside. We met with a local child care provider in Baden this morning who says they've seen several other providers in the area close their doors due to funding delays with the state.
And the pandemic showed us when people didn't go back to work, when people didn't have child care, what happened. I mean, no one could go to work because child care centers were shut down. Missouri, my understanding, is a very lucrative and wealthy state, and yet we don't invest in early care and education.
Another plan that faltered would have allowed St. Louis County or city governments to ask voters if they would spend another 1/2 of 1% in sales taxes to boost funding for early childhood education. The county will no longer push forward with that ballot question this year, but talks are underway to try and find some funding alternatives in the city of St. Louis.
Coming up, the Cardinals will soon be sporting a new uniform, and this one is full of hidden gems.
Plus, are cicadas the new superfood? Some entomologists think so. The reason they're not for everyone.